Hey Aries, welcome to May. So there's a lot going on for you, Aries. This is your season. This is all about you. Even though the sun moved into the sign of Taurus in last month, we have Mercury in the sign of Aries until May 10th. We have Venus in your sign, Aries, until June 6th. We have Neptune, which finally made its move out of Pisces after 14 years and into your sign on April 30th. So Neptune is the great healer. Neptune is the planet of illusion and delusion. It's the planet of creativity. And I think it's interesting that it was in Pisces for the past 14 years and it rules Pisces. I think that would be called a Neptune return. It's returned to its own sign, right? And so we know Neptune has some karmic energy associated with it, cleaning up old karma. I think that's why it's called the Great Healer. And now it's like moving into a fresh cycle because you're the first sign of the zodiac. So here we go. Neptune's in this new cycle for the next 14 years. So Aries, Neptune does make things cloudy. Remember, in astrology, when we say it rules something, it also rules the other extreme. So Neptune can be cloudy and illusion and delusion, but it can also be clarity and vision. Now, it's going to be interesting for you to have this planet in Aries in your own sign. It's interesting for us in general because it barely makes a move. Now, Saturn's going to move to Aries also. So, it's been lingering for a while now. Saturn changes signs about every 2.5 years, and it's going to be heading to you on May 24th. Now, Chiron's hanging out in Aries. It's been there for a while. It'll be there until the end of 2026. Chiron is the wound that becomes our greatest strength. And Eris has been hanging out there since 1926. So I think everybody who listens to this probably has Eris and Aries because unless you were born before 1926. And Eris has some things about like our inner rage, our rightful rage. Okay. So there's a lot of energy going on in Aries, and Eris will remain in Aries until 2048. So that's just the way it is. Okay. So lots of power, lots of energy, Aries. It's not going to be dull. It's not going to be boring. It's not going to be stagnant. There's going to be a lot more clarity going on. We all want to see more clearly, but we might not like what we see. And it's going to be especially strong for you, Aries. Now, so Mars will be trining you until June 17th. So this is really positive energy. It's going to help you move forward. It's going to help you move in the direction of your heart, because that's Leo, and take some positive action, which I know you like, Aries. Now, you got some power days this month because of the moon being in fire signs, okay, which is going to trine you, which is going to make some positive aspects. So we got some power times for you on Saturday, the 3rd at 7:29 a.m. Eastern Standard Time through Monday, the 5th at 3:40 p.m. when the moon is in the fiery sign of Leo. Again, on Tuesday, 5:13 at 4:35 a.m. through Thursday, 5:15 at 3:58 p.m. Power times for you with the moon in the fiery sign of Sagittarius. The moon will be in your own sign, Aries, on Thursday, 5:22, 12:26 p.m. through Saturday, the 24th at 1:38 p.m. Power times for you, especially powerful because it's in your own sign. And then again on Friday, the 30th at 4:17 p.m. through Sunday, June 1st at 11 p.m. Power times for you, Aries, with the moon trining you in the sign of Leo. So great stuff happening. Now let's go ahead and pick some cards. And I have not looked at any of these cards yet. We're going to pick some theme cards for you for the month. See what's coming up. Then we're going to go week by week and give you some information there. And we'll throw some charms and all that kind of fun stuff. Okay, so let's see what we've got to start off. So your first card is a reverse 3 of Swords. Again, I'm not a big reversal reader, but we see a card of old pain showing up here, but I'm going to put it here reversed. because, some cards really stand out to me as reversed. I don't read reverse as like a common across the board every time a card's reversed. But when it does stand out, that's important to me. And so the Three of Swords here, we know the Three of Swords indicates some old kind of pain. And we know that some of it, two swords is like other people hurting us, and one sword is us kind of showing them where the wound is. So it's almost like taking some responsibility in the pain. It's also showing it upside down. So it may be that it's really old pain that comes up to the surface, or it's almost like a different viewpoint of it. Okay, let's see what else we've got going on. We've got Temperance. So we know that that's Jupiter energy. We know that's related to the sign of Sagittarius. We know that Sagittarius makes everything big. Jupiter makes everything big. So there's a lot, whatever's going on heartache wise, it looks like, it could get large. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles, the dark grapes. And Nine of Pentacles is where everything is well. And those grapes look like they are ready to be harvested. I don't know, the fact that they're dark grapes feels like they're like really high in some kind of vitamin, right? Because what makes them so dark? And they feel like wild grapes to me, not just like cultivated grapes. So it's like almost even more of a find. So there's something really valuable that you're finding this month, Aries. It's something here with the old heartache card. I'm actually going to pick a clarifying card because I want to see. Let's see. I'm going to use the Mystical Moments deck. I'm really big on this deck. Let's see. Let's ask for a clarifying card on this Three of Swords. What exactly is this talking about? And we've got the Ace of Cups. So we know the Ace of Cups is the cup of satisfaction. And she's almost like setting all these butterflies free, it looks like, out of this cup. And so we see it's a 1. You're the first house of the zodiac, Aries. And we know the Ace of Cups is a cup of satisfaction. We know it has some sensual themes to it. We see an old relationship there, okay? But I think you're finding, like, you're almost finding the value in it now. And with Temperance, she's dipping her toe into new waters. So you may actually be moving on from the old pain, or maybe like you started dating again, or maybe you're moving into new territory, and it feels like there's some lucky finds, Finds, with that Nine of Pentacles showing up with those, what I'm assuming are wild grapes. Nine of Pentacles, all is well. Nine of Pentacles is when there's a surplus, okay? So I think this is pretty positive for you, Aries. I think this is a good thing. You're ready to move on from that pain. Now, kind of pushing those towards the back. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull a card for each week and see what you need to know here. We're going to throw some charms on here. So let's see. What does Aries need to know each week? It looks like we're going to go with 4 weeks here. The month of May, even though you could probably call it 5, but we're going to go with 4 cards. And here we go. So we're going to the week of Sunday the 4th, and we have the Star card showing up. And we know this is an Aquarian card. And we know it's about healing, right? It's about hope and it's about healing. And we see that the Tower card comes before the Star when things break down. The Star comes in to tell us there's hope. So there is hope there on your first week in May. She also looks like she's wearing a wedding dress. And, I see you getting over some old pain. So that could just be indicating an old relationship, marriage, that kind of stuff. Now, week 2, we have the Magician. So you've got 2 major arcana showing up. And these are the real meat of the reading. These are the real power cards. We call them the fated cards. And again, I say that I do believe that some things are fated, my opinion. But I do also believe in free will. So when you see something in the cards that you do not like, you have the ability to change that course of action. And especially on week 2, because the Magician shows up and he makes anything and everything happen, right? He trusts his feeling. He's the alchemist of the deck. And he's also a 1. And that kind of almost to me references back to you, Aries, the first house of the zodiac. I was taught that the magician was originally associated with the sign Scorpio, that was originally ruled by the planet Mars. Mars is your ruler also, Aries. So there's a lot of power there on week 2. Now, week 3, we have the Seven of Swords. And we see Seven of Swords is usually when somebody's sneaking around, or I think like almost tiptoeing around, maybe some family stuff. We see like a little family crest back there with 2 swords across it. So you may feel like you're treading lightly week 3 of the month. That would be like the 18th through the 24th. Then we go into Memorial Day weekend, and we've got the 4 of Swords. So it looks like you might need some rest, right? This is a card of recharging. I love this card. I often, when if I take a hiatus at my shop, I usually print out a picture of this card and just say, we're taking a little break. And so there's the healthy break there, Memorial Day weekend. Maybe you get a little time, maybe you get the day off, maybe you get to sleep in that day. It's going to be really healthy for you to do so, Aries. I know you're always like full speed ahead. Let's see, the moon on Memorial Day goes from Taurus into Gemini, and that's actually the new moon in Gemini. And then you got the 4 of Swords, which is an air card, and Gemini's an air sign. So I would definitely see if you can give yourself a little rest, a little time to just disconnect, because Gemini is so social and so like active mind energy. So it makes sure that you're not too overstimulated there. Okay. So the first 2 weeks, you got the major arcanas. Those are the more powerful weeks. The last 2 weeks are more just human everyday life cards. You do have Temperance up at the top, which is a beautiful card to have up there because it's Jupiter and it's luck, blessings, and expansion. So I see some good stuff. I do think the first week you'll do a lot of healing and realize a lot of the beauty that you do have in your life. All right, now I'm going to throw some charms on here. Okay, that was a lot of charms. Let's take this mic off and let's see what we got here. So I hope you can see all these letters. Up at the top, I've got T-E-F. I've got an L, a Y. Let's see. Let me just flip all these over first. I hope that you can see them. And if not, I will walk you through this. And I've got the word pave, P-A-V-E, like pave the way. I see the word past. I see the word pine. Interesting. I was thinking pine like tree, but it could be like pining for someone, right? Isn't that an expression? Let's see what else. If you look for names, look for anything that jumps out to you. I see the word vast. See the word built, B-U-I-L-T. And all right, let's see here. So we start off, we have a quartz crystal up here on Sunday. That's actually in April. We've got the L on that's in April too. First couple, the T, E, and F look like they're in the first couple days of the month, along with a sword. On the 6th, you have the letter Y and a little, I think that's a spider. Yep. Spider and a Y on the 6th, an A on the 8th. On the 9th, we have the word is and a dragonfly on the 9th. On the 13th, the letter U. The 14th, we have a unicorn and a bat and the letter V on the 14th. On the 17th, you got a music symbol and a piece of hematite. Looks like on the 18th, the letter B. On the 20th, a flag. But look at all this is going on the 21st. There's a lot here. You got a wine goblet, a shoe, little Monopoly shoe, little horseman, and a bird, and then this little pendant that said hope between the 21st and the 22nd. So it looks like there's a lot there. Wednesday the 21st. It's also the week that you had the tiptoeing around, okay? But we see the word hope. We also have the word, I think of Block Island here, B-I on the 23rd. And look, there's that family crest again. That's interesting because that's what was in that picture back here. Huh. Okay, so there's maybe some family things going on there on the 23rd. Keep that in mind. We got over on the side here, like almost on the 24th is the word royalty. Got a few letters off on the side here. PANF, the letter number 3, and like a flower symbol. Okay, on the 27th, you also have the letter B along with a moose and a watering can. Okay, some good energy there on the 27th. 28th, you've got prayer hands. 29th, you have another little goblet. And over here on the 31st, you have a hot air balloon. The family crest part really jumps out to me. I think that what's the chances of something like that? So I would pay attention. That looks like that week is a really powerful week. Also, when I was talking about power days, the 22nd came up because that was when the moon was in Aries from the 22nd to the 24th. So interesting. Hold on to your hat for that third week of the month. Be curious to see what transpires there. Please comment. Please let me know. Please let me know if you like the charms and anything else. I see the word lay, L-A-Y, the word late, L-A-T-E, love, L-U-V, and anything else. I'm trying to see if I see any names. Bub, B-U-B. And I see the word lab, L-A-B. All right. Any names? Not really catching any names. Okay, I hope that you can see this. And I'm going to roll you some dice also, Aries. Anything else you need to know here? And we've got Pluto in Gemini in the 3rd house. We know that the 3rd house is Gemini's house. So we know Pluto transforms things, changes things. And so you want to be careful with your words. You know, you started off with the 3 of Swords, 3 of air. We basically rolled 3 of air. And so your words can be, you have to, what's the expression? Your word is your wand. I would really keep that in mind because you want to tread lightly here. You're going to be prompted to speak up, but you're not going to want to destroy things. Okay. So make sure that you're aware of what is coming out of your mouth, especially on that Gemini new moon. Okay. Which is on the Monday, the 26th. Have a great month, Aries.